This week, we have been talking about how we are to love others. Even more specifically, the verses that we've been reading this week are about how we are to love our enemies. As we wrap up this week, we read in Matthew chapter 5, verse 46, "If you love only those who love you, what reward is there for that? Even corrupt tax collectors do that much." Jesus has a way of speaking so plainly, but right to the point. He is absolutely right, and He is calling us to live a radically different life than the rest of the world. The world would say, love people that love you back and forget about the rest. But Jesus calls His followers to think of others as better than yourself. Jesus tells us to love people even if they don't love you back. And even more than that, love them if they are your enemy. So this is incredibly challenging. Our flesh fights with our spirit. Our sinful tendencies tell us to seek revenge whenever possible, trash talk our enemies, kick them when they're down, don't forgive them, and definitely don't love. But God's Holy Spirit, the Spirit that dwells within each of Christ's followers, tells us to forgive quickly, speak kindly of others, always help and give generously, and above all, love. The greatest commandment is to love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your mind. And the second is equally important. Love your neighbor as yourself. I encourage you to pray about this. Ask God to strengthen you to love your enemies. Ask God to give you eyes to see people the way He sees them and a heart to love people the way He loves them. I know I can't do this successfully without God's help, but as Paul wrote in his letter to the followers in Philippi, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.